God is your source, not the economy. When the world shakes, the soul must stand still. And in that stillness, it remembers the truth. Your source is not a paycheck. Your source is not Wall Street. Your source is not the global economy. Your source is eternal, unchanging, divine. In a world where headlines scream of recession, inflation, job cuts, and market crashes, it's easy to believe that your well-being is tied to the fluctuations of the external world. That your security is dictated by interest rates, by GDP, by what the economists say, but that belief is a lie. You were never meant to be a servant of economic systems. You are not a victim of market trends. You are not a statistic in the machinery of scarcity. You are a spiritual being backed by an infinite power. A power that is not subject to recessions or shortages. A power that flows freely, abundantly, and consistently. When you learn to trust it. This message is not for the faint of heart. It is for the one who is ready to rise above the illusion of lack and step into the truth of divine supply. It is for the one who is tired of fear, done with doubt, and ready to take authority over their life. Because once you realize God is your source, no government can control your future. No employer can limit your earning. No bank account can define your worth. This isn't about religion, it's about reality, spiritual reality. A reality where you speak with power, walk with faith, and live as if the universe is working for you, because it is. Today we will walk through 10 powerful steps that will shift your mindset, ignite your faith, and activate a new financial reality. One rooted in the unshakable truth. God is your source, not the economy, not the system, not even your job. Get ready to reclaim your power and unlock unstoppable abundance. Break the illusion of lack. 1. Rewire your mind from economic dependency to divine supply. The very first step in reclaiming your abundance is to detach your faith from the economy and plug it back into its rightful source, the infinite power that created you. Let's begin here. You were born into a world that taught you to depend on systems, the banking system, the job market, government aid, even family inheritance. From the moment you could understand words, you were taught that money comes from effort, jobs, wages, and investment. You were told to work hard, save for the future, be realistic, and cut your coat according to your cloth. But no one told you this. You have access to a greater economy, the economy of spirit. This economy is not built on scarcity. It doesn't crash. It doesn't collapse. It flows. It multiplies. It responds to your faith. Now hear this loud and clear. God is your source, not your job, not your clients, not your sales funnel. Those are only channels, but they are not the source. Just like a river might bring water to your land, it is not the sky that rains, nor the underground reservoir that nourishes. It's only a delivery method. So what happens when you confuse the river for the rain? You panic when the river dries up. You feel helpless when your job ends. You feel abandoned when clients stop calling. Because you thought your supply came from them, but it never did. The first step in activating divine prosperity is to boldly declare, "My supply comes from a higher power, and it never runs out." You must reprogram your entire belief system. You must tear down the mental structure that links money only with effort, or success only with strategy. This doesn't mean you stop working, but it means you stop worrying. Because worry is faith in fear, and you're not here to serve fear, you're here to serve faith. Let's be clear, you live in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual laws. The law of supply says that for every need, there is provision. The law of compensation says that the universe returns what you believe you deserve. And the law of substitution says that you cannot hold two thoughts at the same time. So if you are thinking of lack, you're not thinking of supply. Your first mission is to saturate your mind with truth. Truth that says, I live under grace, not under stress. God's wealth is flowing to me in perfect timing, from expected and unexpected sources. No matter what the economy says, I am always taken care of. Repeat this daily. Write it on your mirror. Speak it over your bank account. Say it when fear creeps in at 3 a.m. You are not at the mercy of inflation. You are not chained to market conditions. Your income is not determined by a spreadsheet. It is determined by your belief in the source within. Now I want you to remember a moment. Any moment, when you received something you didn't expect. A job, a gift, a refund, a door that opened without effort. That wasn't luck. That was evidence. Evidence that when you align your mind with divine truth, reality bends to meet your needs. But here's the catch: you must believe before you see. You must act as if the supply is already flowing. You must walk like someone who's wealthy even if the wallet is empty. You must bless what little you have as if it's already multiplied. That shift from begging the world to trusting the divine is where the miracle happens. You don't manifest wealth by chasing it in fear. You manifest it by trusting the source so deeply that it has no choice but to respond. Because the universe always says yes, yes, to what you believe, yes, to what you expect, yes, to what you claim. So today, rewire your focus. When the news talks about job loss, affirm, my source is still flowing. When your income feels delayed, declare, supply is never late, it's always right on time. When doubt whispers that there's not enough, shout back, God is more than enough. Make it personal. Speak it with power. Feel it in your bones. I am divinely supported. My prosperity is not dependent on the economy. It is dependent on my faith, my vibration, and my alignment with truth. This is not just a step. It is a foundational transformation. The moment where you stop being a servant to fear and become a master of faith. Step 1 is the pivot point, the place where your old identity of survival ends, and your new identity of supernatural abundance begins. This is your new normal, a reality where money no longer rules you, because you are aligned with the one who rules all things. Welcome to the frequency of divine supply. Welcome to the truth that sets you free. 2. Detach from fear and anchor into faith. Now that you've realigned your understanding of where your true source lies, it's time to take a bold and necessary next step, detaching from fear and anchoring into faith. You see, fear is the most popular belief system on earth. Fear is what drives the headlines. Fear is what fuels scarcity. Fear is what keeps people trapped in survival mode, not because there's not enough, but because they believe there isn't. Let's be crystal clear. Fear is not the truth. It's a program. It's a lie dressed as logic. And most importantly, it is optional. But faith? Faith is the language of the spirit. Faith is the unseen power that shapes reality. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. When the world says prepare for recession, faith says prepare for overflow. When the world says hold on tightly, faith says let go and trust. When the world says you better be realistic, faith responds, I serve a limitless God. My reality is divine. So how do you anchor into faith when everything around you triggers fear? Here's how. 1. Guard your inputs. Faith grows where it's fed, and it withers where it's starved. If you're constantly consuming bad news, market collapses, job losses, and financial crises, you are programming your subconscious mind with images of lack. And remember, your subconscious doesn't argue, it accepts what you repeatedly give it. So turn off the noise. Unfollow accounts that feed your anxiety. Limit conversations with people who see only problems. Protect your mental environment like your life depends on it, because your prosperous life absolutely does. Instead, flood your mind with truth. Listen to affirmation. Read spiritual texts about abundance. Speak scriptures or affirming phrases that declare God's provision. Watch content that empowers you to remember who you are. The more you bathe your mind in truth, the less room fear has to speak. Train your inner eye. What you see internally is far more powerful than what you see externally. Yes, you may be facing bills, debts, or delayed income, but don't fix your eyes on the problem. Fix your vision on the promise. Close your eyes each day and visualize yourself already living in abundance. Not just surviving but thriving. Not just paying bills but blessing others. Not just earning but overflowing. See it in detail. Feel it in your body, live it in your mind, because the subconscious cannot distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. 3. Affirm the truth, boldly. Affirmations aren't empty words, they are spiritual commands. Every time you say, I walk in divine supply, my source is unlimited, I attract wealth with ease and joy, you are not just hoping, you are reprogramming. You are rewriting your financial DNA. You are instructing your reality to conform to your new vibe. Speak your affirmations aloud, especially when fear tries to whisper lies. Don't argue with fear, replace it. Don't fight the darkness, turn on the light. 4. Celebrate evidence of supply. Faith multiplies what you celebrate. When you receive even the smallest provision, a refund, a discount, a surprise gift, a sudden opportunity, bless it. Say aloud, "Thank you, God. This is proof that divine supply is flowing." Why? Because what you appreciate, appreciates. What you recognize, expands. Celebrate every single sign of abundance, and you'll start to see more of it. 5. Act in faith, not in fear. This might be the hardest part for some, taking bold action before the physical proof appears. That means applying for the opportunity even if you feel unqualified. That means giving generously even if your mind says wait until later. That means launching the business, writing the book, starting the project, now. Faith doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Faith makes the conditions perfect by moving first. Remember this truth. You don't manifest by wishing. You manifest by aligning. And alignment requires motion, a step, a decision, a move that says, I believe supply is here, so I'm acting accordingly. Create a daily faith ritual. Spiritual success is not accidental, it is cultivated. Create a 10-minute ritual each morning to align yourself with faith. It could include Dawat, gratitude journaling, speaking affirmations, meditating on divine abundance, visualizing your prosperous reality, reading scripture or spiritual passages on wealth. Make this your daily dose of truth. Make it as non-negotiable as brushing your teeth, because the more consistently you tune your mind to faith, the less the world can pull you back into fear. So here's the core of step 2. Fear may knock, but faith is the one who opens the door. Fear may speak, but only faith gets the final word. Fear may exist, but it cannot coexist with a heart anchored in divine truth. You are not a victim of the world's economy. You are a child of the infinite, and your supply is spiritual, not seasonal. Your prosperity is not postponed, it is present, and it begins with your faith. Detach from fear, anchor into truth, walk in faith. This is step 2, and it changes everything. 3. Elevate your words. Speak the language of divine supply. Your life is constantly responding to your words. The words you speak are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every time you speak, you are planting something in your future. You are instructing your environment, your subconscious, and even the unseen spiritual forces around you to align with what you declare. So the question becomes, what are you speaking into existence? Are you speaking debt? Are you speaking delay? Are you speaking fear? Or are you speaking provision, overflow, expansion, and peace? Because here's the spiritual law. You cannot speak lack and expect abundance to follow. You cannot complain about money and expect miracles with money. You cannot curse your current condition and bless your future at the same time. You must learn the language of divine supply, the language of God as your source. Words are spiritual commands. Many people don't realize this, but every single word you say is a decree. It carries spiritual energy and instruction. When you say, I never have enough, you are commanding the universe to make that true. When you say, this is too expensive, you are reinforcing the belief that you're not worthy of it. When you say, money doesn't grow on trees, you are denying the truth that abundance is everywhere. But when you shift your words, you shift your reality. Say instead, God is the source of all I desire, and there is no shortage with God. Your words must match your vision. You can't be visualizing abundance every morning, and then saying things like, I can't afford that by the afternoon. That's spiritual contradiction, and contradiction creates confusion in the subconscious mind. Your mouth must match your mission. Your confession must match your calling. If you're believing for overflow, speak as if it's already here. This doesn't mean being reckless or delusional. It means choosing words that reflect what is spiritually true, even if the physical evidence hasn't caught up yet. Your speech must rise to the level of your vision. If you believe that you're walking into a wealthy, impactful, peaceful life, speak from that place. Not someday. Now. 3. Affirmations are your daily tools of creation. Affirmations aren't positive thinking. They are divine recalibrations. They reset your energy. They override old programming. They call in the reality you were created for. Here are a few power affirmations you can begin using today. God meets every need I have with abundance and joy. I am aligned with divine wealth, and it flows freely to me. I walk in overflow, not because of the economy, but because of the source within me. I am not limited by what I see. I am empowered by what I know. Say these aloud. Say them when you're afraid. Say them when you feel lack. Say them until your mind believes, your body feels it, and your environment starts to shift. 4. Don't curse what you're trying to bless. This is where many people sabotage their progress. They say affirmations in the morning, and then they speak doubt the rest of the day. They say, God is my source, and then complain about prices, bills, clients, or lack of opportunities. But you cannot build your life with blessings and then tear it down with complaint. So here's a simple rule. If it doesn't align with divine supply, don't say it. If you wouldn't want what you just said to manifest, don't say it. If your words don't point to abundance, peace, and provision, rewrite them. Make your mouth a vessel of power, not panic. A weapon of peace, not worry. 5. Silence is better than speaking fear. Sometimes the best spiritual discipline is silence. If you find yourself tempted to speak doubt, just pause. Breathe, stay still. Let the fear pass like a wave. You are under no obligation to agree with fear. You don't have to give it your voice. You are not a mouthpiece for worry. You are a vessel for divine wisdom. Let silence become your power move when fear tries to sneak in. Eventually, the silence becomes strength, and strength becomes the habit. Bless your finances with words. This is one of the most overlooked spiritual strategies. Speak blessings over your money. Every dollar you receive, no matter how small, bless it. Every payment you send out, bless. Every bill you see, bless it and say thank you God, this is already paid in full. Speak peace over your bank account. Speak increase over your income. Speak opportunity over your work. Speak wealth over your journey. Because what you bless multiplies. What you curse stagnates. Train your mouth to become a river of blessing, especially in the area of finances. Final thoughts. Of step 3. Your words are sacred. They carry energy. They set the atmosphere. They create ripples in the spiritual realm that eventually shape the physical world. So guard your language, elevate your speech, and speak as if the kingdom of heaven is backing every syllable, because it is. You are not at the mercy of this economy. You are not a servant to numbers on a screen. You are the master of your words, and your words command your realities. The language of provision. Speak the language of peace. Speak the language of divine supply, and watch your world transform. This is step 3, and now the atmosphere around you is listening. 4. Stop looking to people. Look only to the source. You may have been taught to believe that your job is your source, that your family is your safety net, that your government is your provider, that the marketplace decides your future. But that belief is flawed, and it's the reason so many feel powerless when the world around them shifts. Let's be very clear. People are not your source. The government is not your source. The economy is not your source. God is your source. And when you truly internalize this truth, not just intellectually, but spiritually, something inside you changes. You stop begging. You stop chasing. You stop fearing rejection, because your identity is no longer tied to systems, salaries, or social status. Let's go deeper. People are channels, not sources. A source never runs out. A channel can close. So when you rely on people, you're relying on a channel, and channels are limited. They can dry up. They can shift. They can fail. But when you look beyond the channel to the source behind the channel, you tap into infinite supply. So even when one door closes, another opens, because the source remains intact. God uses people, opportunities, platforms, and jobs to bless you. But don't confuse the blessing with the source of the blessing. This mindset shift removes fear. You're no longer afraid of layoffs. You're no longer panicked when a client backs out. You're no longer devastated when someone walks away. You know that the source remains, even when channels change. Team. Stop worshiping the system. Many of us have unknowingly made idols out of systems, jobs, corporations, banks, governments. We trust them more than we trust God. We obey them more than we obey our intuition. We fear them more than we revere our source. But systems are temporary. They are man-made. They are fragile. Your faith must be rooted in something eternal, something higher than policy, economy, or human approval. This doesn't mean you abandon wisdom or ignore responsibility. It means you stop idolizing things that were never meant to hold your faith. You don't worship the system, you work with it, but your worship goes to the source. You compromise your values just to be accepted. But when you know that God is your source, you don't beg, you attract. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop stressing about being liked or chosen. You stop manipulating outcomes just to feel secure. You stand in your divine identity, knowing that what is yours is already appointed, already aligned, already flowing. You don't have to knock on every door, you just walk through the ones that were divinely designed for you. Redirect your expectations. It's time to redirect your expectations from man to the divine. If someone helps you, thank them. If they don't, bless them and move on, because you weren't depending on them anyway. This level of spiritual independence frees you. You no longer feel betrayed when someone can't come through. You no longer collapse emotionally when the bank says no. You don't crumble when someone closes a door. You say thank you, but I know the source. If not through you, it will come through another. If not through this job, then through a greater one. If not from this source, then from the infinite realm, where God moves all things. This is not arrogance. This is spiritual alignment. Refuse to sell your soul for provision. When people think money or humans are their source, they sell out. They take jobs that drain their soul. They enter relationships based on survival, not purpose. They tolerate disrespect because they think they have no other option. But when you walk in truth, knowing your source is divine, you start making higher decisions. You say no to what doesn't align. You release fear-based choices. You trust that obedience to your higher calling will never leave you lacking. Your soul is not for sale. Your peace is not for trade. Your purpose is not up for negotiation. You were not created to serve systems. You were created to serve your divine path, and the provision follows the path. No one owes you a job. No one owes you a loan. No one owes you an opportunity. Everything you receive from others is grace, not entitlement. When you remove the expectation from people and place it on your source, you stop feeling disappointed and start feeling empowered. You become grateful, not bitter. You become generous, not entitled. You become resilient, not resentful. Because your hope is no longer in people. It's in the divine supply that never runs dry. Align with the law of divine circulation. When you give, do it knowing your source will replenish you, not because you expect people to pay you back. When you serve, do it with a full heart, knowing that the universe always returns energy where it was sown. This is the law of divine circulation. Give from the overflow. Receive with joy, but never depend on others to complete you or sustain you. That is not their role. That is the role of the infinite within you. Final thoughts for step 4. The moment you stop looking to people and start looking to God as your source, your fear evaporates, your begging stops, your chasing ends. You walk differently, you speak differently, you expect differently. You no longer need to manipulate outcomes, you magnetize them. You no longer cling to broken channels, you release them in faith. You no longer panic when one income stream ends. You rest knowing another is already forming. The systems of the world may shake, the economy may shift, but your source is unshakable, immovable, eternal. So lift your eyes above the headlines. Stop counting on man-made systems, and anchor your faith in the truth. God is your source, and with that, you'll never lack again. 5. Speak prosperity, no matter what you see. The words you speak carry power, not because of some mystical superstition, but because speech is the bridge between belief and manifestation. Your words declare your alignment, they reflect your inner world, and they shape your outer reality. If you're serious about activating divine provision, if you're serious about living with heaven as your source, then you must learn this spiritual law. Never speak lack, even in the face of it. Never affirm fear, even when it whispers. Never confess limitation, even when the evidence surrounds you. Why? Because your words plant the seeds of tomorrow. What you say today is what you will live tomorrow. 1. Your words are creative forces. You are not a passive observer of reality. You are a co-creator with divine intelligence. And one of the greatest tools you've been given for this creation is the spoken word. When you say, "I can't afford that," you are instructing your subconscious and the universe to keep you in a state of not being able. When you say business is slow, you are confirming and perpetuating that experience. But when you speak life, even when you feel pressed, When you say, my supply is unlimited, prosperity flows to me from expected and unexpected sources, you're doing something powerful. You're aligning your speech with truth, not circumstance. Circumstances change, truth doesn't. 2. You are always prophesying. Every time you speak, you're prophesying your future. The question is, what kind of future are you calling in? If you keep saying, things never work out for me, then that's the pattern that will keep replaying, not because you're cursed, but because you're in agreement with lack. But if you say, things are always working out for me even if I don't see it yet, then your soul begins shifting. Your perception sharpens, your actions align with that new belief, and reality follows. You're not waiting for change, you are speaking it into existence. 3. Declare what you desire, not what you dread. Too many people think they're being realistic by speaking about the problem. But understand this, speaking about a mountain over and over doesn't move it. Speaking to the mountain in faith is what removes it. When your bank account is low, don't say, I'm broke. Say, my divine supply is refilling now. When your business is quiet, don't say, it's a dead season. Say, clients are being divinely drawn to me daily. When your body feels tired, don't say, I'm falling apart. Say, I'm being restored in strength and energy. This isn't denial, this is higher truth. You're not pretending the problem doesn't exist. You're choosing not to empower it. You're speaking the desired outcome until it materializes. Teza 4. Guard your mouth like a gate. Your mouth is a gateway. Whatever passes through it enters the realm of form. So train yourself to pause before you speak, especially in times of stress. Don't curse your finances with careless talk. Don't label yourself with limitation. Don't speak against your own progress. If you accidentally slip, correct it immediately. Say, cancel that, I replace it with truth. Speak life, speak power, speak vector. Eventually this becomes your new language, your native tongue of abundance. 5. Speak in the language of the answer, not the problem. Don't keep rehearsing your worries, rehearse your faith. Don't repeat what you're lacking, declare what is being restored. If someone asks, how's it going? Don't go into a saga about delays and struggles. Instead say, everything is unfolding in perfect timing. I'm seeing new doors opening. Great things are happening. I'm walking in divine flow. Speak as if the breakthrough has already occurred, because in the spiritual realm it has. You're simply calling it into your visible experience. Affirmations are spiritual recalibration. Every time you affirm abundance, peace, provision, and purpose, you're recalibrating your mind and spirit. It's not about thought thinking, it's about divine alignment. Try saying this every morning. Tezan, I live in an abundant universe. God is my constant source and unfailing supply. I do not beg, I do not fear. I am fully supported in every area of my life. What I need comes to me with ease. I am prosperous, provided for, and walking in purpose. The more you say it, the more you believe, and the more you believe it, the more your life reflects it. 7. Do not join in negative conversations. This one's crucial. Avoid speaking doom and gloom with others. Don't join conversations that glorify struggle, mock abundance, or exaggerate problems. Not because you're ignoring reality, but because you're choosing to elevate it. If someone is complaining about the economy, say, I understand, but I know we're guided and provided for. Things can turn around quickly. If others are speaking scarcity, be the one to speak. Be the light. Be the one who speaks vision when others speak fear. This isn't just for them, it's for your own atmosphere. Your life rises or falls to the level of your language. Every time you speak, you're casting a spell, not on others, but on your own life. So speak with intention, speak with clarity, speak with boldness. If you need something, declare, my needs are met before I even ask. What I seek is already seeking. The resources, people and ideas I need are flowing to me now. This is how you activate God mode, by refusing to speak lack, no matter what's in front of you. Psych like someone who knows they are backed by heaven. Psych like someone who trusts the promise more than the problem. Speak like someone who has already received, because in the realm of the spirit, it's already done. Let the world around you speak recession, you speak revival. Let the economy scream scarcity, you whisper abundance. Let your voice echo the frequency of heaven until your life looks like the words you've declared. The law is simple, you speak it, and it comes. You affirm it and it forms. You declare it, and it descends. Speak prosperity, speak truth, speak power, because the universe is always listening. 6. Build unshakable faith through gratitude. Faith is not built by trying to force belief when everything looks uncertain. Faith grows through gratitude. Gratitude is the spiritual fertilizer that multiplies what you already have. It is the act of saying, I see the evidence of divine supply here and now, even in the smallest forms, and I trust that more is coming. Too often, people focus on what they don't have. They pray from desperation, saying, please God, give me more. But in doing so, they send out a vibration of lack. They're unconsciously saying, I don't have enough. Gratitude flips that vibration. Gratitude says, I recognize that I am already blessed. I acknowledge that my source is working behind the scenes. I see abundance around me, and I know more is in the way. This step is about building unshakable faith by developing a habit of radical gratitude. Gratitude changes your frequency. You are like a radio tower, constantly broadcasting a signal. If your signal is one of fear, worry, or doubt, you will attract more experiences that match those feelings. But when your signal is gratitude, you align with the frequency of abundance. Gratitude is magnetic. It draws more of what you appreciate into your life. Start by appreciating the small things: the sunlight on your face, the air you breathe, the food on your table, the roof over your head. These are all signs that you are already supported. The more you acknowledge what you already have, the more you shift from I need to I am blessed, and that shift is the seed of wealth. 2. Gratitude transforms your perspective. Lack is not always about having nothing. It is often about failing to see what is already present. When you stop and take inventory of the good in your life, you realize how much you've already been given. Consider this: the very fact that you can listen to this message means you have access to technology, energy, and knowledge. Do you see how much abundance is already flowing around? The act of recognizing this instantly transforms your energy. It creates a mindset of I am supported, and I have more than enough. The daily gratitude practice. Here's how you can build this habit of gratitude and deepen your faith. 8th, morning gratitude ritual. Each morning, list at least 10 things you're thankful for, from your breath, to your health, to the unexpected blessings in your life. Evening reflection. At night, review your day and write down the good things that happened, even the smallest wins, a kind word, a paid bill, or a moment of laughter. Gratitude in advance. Don't just thank for what you have now, thank for what's on its way. Say thank you for the wealth flowing to me. Thank you for the opportunities unfolding. Thank you for the solutions I don't see yet. This is a powerful spiritual move. Gratitude in advance is faith in action. 4. Gratitude neutralizes fear. Fear says, what if I don't have enough? Gratitude says, I already have enough, and more is coming. When you are truly grateful, fear loses its grip. You can't be thankful and fearful at the same time. Gratitude elevates your vibrations so high that worry cannot survive in the same atmosphere. The next time fear creeps in about money, pause and name 5 things you're grateful for. You'll feel the shift immediately. Your energy will move from panic to peace, and that peace is fertile ground for miracles. Bless what you have. Many people curse their finances without even realizing it. They say things like, I never have enough, or I hate paying these bills. But this negative energy blocks flow. Instead, bless what you have. When you pay a bill, say thank you for the ability to pay this. When you see your current income, say I'm grateful for this and I know it's growing. This is not blind optimism, it's spiritual alignment. What you bless expands, what you curse shrinks. Gratitude opens doors to more. Here's a universal truth: what you appreciate, appreciates. When you are truly grateful for even the smallest things, you create a ripple of attraction. The universe sees that you value what you've been given, and it responds by giving you more. Think about it this way: would you give more to someone who constantly complains, or would you give more to someone who appreciates what you've already done? It's the same with the energy of life. Appreciation multiplies blessings. See everything as a gift. Even challenges can be blessings in disguise. The bills you have today, they represent the services you've enjoyed, the light in your home, the water you drank, the internet you used. The job you may feel stuck, it's still a channel of provision while you work toward greater things. Start seeing everything as a gift. Even delays may be divine protection. Even losses may be clearing space for something bigger. When you can find gratitude in every situation, you step into spiritual mastery. You trust that everything, even the uncomfortable, is ultimately working in your favor. Feet, speak gratitude aloud. Don't just think gratitude, speak it. Words have power, and when you voice your gratitude, it amplifies your energy. Say thank you God for this day. Thank you for the money I have. Thank you for the unseen blessings already on their way to me. When you make gratitude your language, you'll feel your faith strengthening. You'll start to believe, not just hope, that your needs are already met. Gratitude pauth, ave manifestation. Faith without gratitude is incomplete. Gratitude without faith is shallow, but together they are unstoppable. When you believe, faith and celebrate gratitude, you open the floodgates of provision. Imagine someone giving you a gift. If you accept it with joy and appreciation, they'll want to give you more. But if you take it with doubt or complaint, you block the flow. Life works the same way. Practice gratitude for what you don't see yet. This is the most powerful level of gratitude, thanking the source for blessings before they arrive. This isn't pretending, it's spiritual certainty. Say, thank you for the opportunities unfolding perfectly. Thank you for the abundance that is already mine in spirit, now manifesting in form. When you do this, your faith is no longer fragile, it becomes a magnetic force. Final thoughts on step 6. Gratitude is not a feeling you wait for, it's a choice you make. When you choose gratitude daily, you unlock a spiritual power that no economy can take away. Your faith grows stronger, your vision becomes clear, your life becomes a reflection of the abundance you constantly acknowledge. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and enough into overflow. So speak it, feel it, live it, and watch how your reality begins to rise to match your thankful heart. 7. Detach from the channel. Stay connected to the source. Most people confuse channels with source. Your job is not your source. Your business is not your source. Your clients, customers, salary, investments, these are only channels through which the divine supply flows. Your true source is invisible, infinite, and unshakable. It is God, the unlimited power behind every visible channel of provision. This step is about developing the spiritual maturity to trust source, even when channels shift, slow down, or disappear. The danger of misplacing your trust. Let's start with a truth that can change everything. When you place your trust in a channel, you limit the source. The moment you believe your income is tied to a single job, person, or contract, you've cut off the infinite possibilities that your source can use to bless you. This is why people panic when they lose a job or when the economy slows down. They've confused the channel with the provider. But hear this deeply. Your source is never in recession. The channel may close, but the supply remains. Your responsibility is to stay connected to the source, not to cling to a fading channel. 2. What is a channel? A channel is just a means of delivery. Like a river carries water from a mountain, your job, your sales, or your business carries supply from your source. But rivers can dry up, roads can get blocked. That doesn't mean the mountain has stopped producing water. It means it's time for a new river, a new channel, a new flow. The mountain of your supply, the divine, never runs dry. 3. Recognizing the signs of attachment. How do you know when you've become attached to a channel? You feel hopeless if one source of income disappears. You are sustained by the divine economy, and in that economy, there is no lack, no shortage, no delay. 4. Detach with love, not fear. Detachment does not mean carelessness. It doesn't mean walking away from your job or client. It means doing your work with excellence, while holding the outcome loosely. It means saying, thank you for this channel, I am grateful, but I trust my source more than I trust this job, this client, or this check. When you let go of your fear of losing the channel, you give the source permission to bless you in new, unexpected, and even miraculous ways. 4. Your supply is not limited by one stream. Let's say you've always made money one way, a certain job, a certain business model. That stream starts drying up. You panic. But here's the truth. The source has unlimited creative ways to supply you. You might get a new opportunity you never considered. A dormant talent may awaken within you. Someone might refer you out of the blue. An idea may drop into your spirit that changes everything. But these only come when you release your death grip on one channel and open your heart to new ones. Say aloud, I bless this channel, but I release it. I trust the source behind it to provide for me in greater ways. Make peace with transitions. Sometimes a channel closes not because you've done something wrong, but because you've outgrown it. The divine may be calling you into a new season, a new level of provision, a greater platform. But to receive it, you must first let go. Yes, the closure may feel like loss at first, but in the spiritual realm, every loss is a launch pad. Every ending is the beginning of something richer, higher, and better aligned with your purpose. 7. Affirmations to reconnect with source. Words carry spiritual energy. Use them to realign with the truth that your source is unlimited. Speak these out daily. God is my unfailing source of supply. Channels may change, but my source never changes. I release attachment to any one outcome. I trust in divine timing. I am always supported by an unseen supply. These affirmations are not empty words. They are spiritual declarations that clear fear and activate divine ideas. Take aligned action without worry. When you trust the source, your actions become inspired, not desperate. You can pursue new opportunities without fear. You can ask for what you need without begging. You can sell, speak, build, create, not out of panic, but from peace. Why? Because your supply doesn't depend on how hard you hustle. It flows from how deeply you're aligned with your source. So act boldly, but rest spiritually. Celebrate every channel, then let it go. When you receive from a certain person or job, bless them, be grateful, but don't worship the channel. Don't obsess over keeping it. Don't live in fear of losing it. Say thank you for this provision. Thank you for this provision. Thank you for this avenue. But I know who my true source is. I am always taken care of. This mindset frees you. It removes anxiety. It makes room for new channels, better ideas, and higher level manifestations. 10. Let God surprise you. The most miraculous breakthroughs happen outside your plan. You might be waiting for help from one person, but it comes from someone else. You might expect a certain business to take off, but another idea ends up flourishing. You might be praying for money and receive wisdom that changes your entire financial future. Don't box the source into your limited expectations. Say, surprise me, God. Show me provision in ways I can't even imagine. This openness is the secret ingredient to supernatural results. Final reflection on step 7. The world teaches dependency. Dependency on dependency on governments. Dependency on specific people. But spiritual maturity says, I honor the channels, but I bow to the source. That shift in mindset is your freedom. When you no longer fear a closed door, you begin to expect a bigger one to open. When you stop clinging to broken vessels, your hands become free to receive overflowing ones. When you detach from the temporary, you connect to the eternal, and in that connection, you will always be supported, always be sustained, always be supplied, because your source is not the economy. Your source is God, and that supply is limitless. 8. Cultivate the mindset of abundance, not scarcity. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world, and your relationship with money and provision depends on this lens. Is your mental lens zoomed in on lack, on limitations, on the fear of not having enough? Or is it expanded to see endless possibility, growth, and abundance? This step is about intentionally shifting your mindset away from scarcity and toward abundance. It is about rewiring your thought patterns to expect wealth, prosperity, and divine provision at all times, no matter what the headlines say or what your current circumstances appear to be. Understanding scarcity versus abundance mindsets. A scarcity mindset is like a closed fist. It holds tightly, fears losing, and focuses on what isn't there. It says, there's not enough for me. If someone else succeeds, that means less for me. In contrast, an abundance mindset is like an open hand, relaxed, trusting, and confident that there is plenty for everyone. It says, there is more than enough to go around. I am part of a limitless universe of provision. 2. The problem with scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe there's not enough, you act accordingly. You hold back, you compete destructively. You fear spending or investing, and you close yourself off from opportunities. This fear-based behavior blocks the natural flow of abundance. It creates stress hormones in your body, which cloud your judgment and lower your vibration, the energetic frequency that attracts more prosperity. You begin to see the world as hostile, your opportunities as limited, and your future as uncertain. This makes it almost impossible to receive the blessings waiting for you. Energy is endlessly circulating. When you align with this truth, your entire being shifts. Your thoughts, words, and actions begin to draw abundance toward you like a magnet. This law doesn't discriminate. It works for every person who embraces it with faith and confidence. 4. How to cultivate abundance thinking. Conscious awareness. Notice when your thoughts drift into scarcity. Catch phrases like I can't afford that, or there's no way this will work, and stop them immediately. Replace scarcity with abundance affirmations. For example, replace I don't have enough with I am surrounded by unlimited opportunities. Say daily, surround yourself with abundance, read books, listen to podcasts, and engage with people who live and breathe abundance. This environment reinforces your new mindset. Celebrate small wins. Every time you experience a financial blessing, no matter how small, celebrate. This trains your mind to expect more good things. 5. Shift your focus from lack to opportunity. If your attention is on the problem, the economy, the job market, bills, you'll only see more problems. But if you consciously choose to focus on opportunities, new skills you can learn, new people you can meet, new ideas you can explore, you'll open the door to abundance. Make it a daily practice to write down 3 new opportunities or ideas that could lead to growth or income. Your mind will start hunting for possibilities instead of obstacles. 6. Believe that you deserve abundance. Many people unconsciously sabotage their prosperity because they don't believe they deserve it. They think wealth is for others, not for them. They feel guilt, shame, or unworthiness around money. But understand this clearly: you were born to prosper. You were created to enjoy abundance. You deserve financial freedom and joy. Repeat daily: I am deserving of all good things. Abundance is my birthright. I accept prosperity now with an open heart. 7. Give generously to activate flow. Giving is a powerful spiritual practice that breaks the chains of scarcity thinking. When you give your time, your money, your talents, you affirm that you have enough to share. This act of generosity sends a message to the universe. I trust that my supply is endless. I am abundant enough to bless others. Giving doesn't have to be large sums. Even a small act of kindness or a modest donation activates the law of circulation and invites more blessings. 8. Visualize abundance daily. Visualize abundance daily. Visualization is a tool that trains your subconscious mind to believe in abundance. Take a few minutes every day to imagine yourself living in wealth, not just money, but freedom, peace, and purpose. See yourself paying bills with ease, helping others generously, enjoying luxuries without stress. Feel the emotions of that abundant life: joy, gratitude, freedom. This emotional connection sends a powerful signal to your subconscious, aligning your entire being with the energy of prosperity. 9. Reject comparison and competition. Comparison feeds scarcity. When you compare yourself to others, you focus on what you lack instead of what you have. Competition, when rooted in fear, creates tension and stress. Instead, celebrate the success of others as evidence that abundance is real and growing. Recognize that every success story expands the possibility for your own. This mindset creates community, support, and joyful expectation rather than anxiety. Practice patience and trust divine timing. Shifting your mindset is a process. Abundance may not show up overnight. Trust that as you align your thoughts, words, and actions with abundance, the universe is working behind the scenes. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active trust. Say, I am aligning with divine timing. What is mine is coming at the perfect moment. I release all anxiety and receive peace. When you reject scarcity, you dissolve barriers. When you believe you deserve wealth, you open the door to receive it. Today, commit to shifting your lens from lack to limitless potential. You have a limitless source. You have infinite possibility. You have the power to see beyond what your eyes show. Embrace abundance and watch how your world transforms. 9. Take inspired action aligned with divine guidance. Manifestation is not passive. Faith is not wishful thinking. Your source provides, but you are invited to participate actively in the unfolding of your blessings. This step is about taking inspired action. Action that feels guided, natural, and aligned with your highest good, not desperate or frantic attempts to make things happen. 1. Understanding inspired action. Inspired action arises from a place of inner peace and clarity. It's the difference between pushing with stress and pulling with grace. When you act because you fear loss or scarcity, you enter desperation mode. This frantic energy repels abundance. But when your actions come from a place of trust in your source, they flow effortless. They carry the power of divine timing and intelligence. Inspired action feels right. It feels like a green light in your soul. 2. Listen to intuition and inner guidance. Your inner voice, gut feeling, or spiritual nudges are the whispers of your source guiding you. Practice quieting your mind daily through meditation, prayer, or stillness to tune into this guidance. Ask yourself, what is the next right step? Where should I focus my energy today? What opportunity is being shown to me? When you act on these inner promptings, you align your effort with universal flow. Start small and build momentum. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Begin with small, consistent steps that move you toward your goals. This builds confidence and trust. It signals to the universe that you're serious about your growth. Small steps taken in faith accumulate into giant leaps over time. Soar. Be open to unexpected paths. Sometimes the way your blessings arrive is not what you imagined. Don't limit yourself to one plan or expectation. Be flexible and open-minded. When doors close, look for windows. When a plan falls through, ask, what else is possible? The source often leads you through surprising routes that end up better than what you envisioned. Avoid overworking or forcing outcomes. Working hard is good, but forcing is not. Forcing outcomes creates resistance. Instead, balance effort with surrender. Do your best and then release the results to the source. Say, I do what I can, I trust the rest is being handled. This balance reduces stress and opens space for miracles. Surround yourself with supportive people. Your environment matters. Surround yourself with people who believe in abundance and support your growth. Avoid naysayers who reinforce scarcity or doubt. Build a circle of encouragement, mentorship, and positive influence. They'll inspire you to keep moving forward in faith. Use your gifts to serve others. Prosperity is connected to serve. When your actions serve others, whether through your work, creativity, or kindness, you open the flow of blessing. Ask, how can I add value today? What gifts do I have to share? Giving from your talents invites prosperity in return. Celebrate every step of progress. Recognize and celebrate your wins, even small ones. This creates positive momentum. Each success reinforces your belief and motivation. Gratitude and celebration attract more to be grateful for. Trust the process and stay consistent with your inspired actions. Remember, manifestation is a journey, not a race. Patience combined with faith produces lasting results. Trust that your actions are amplified by divine power. Finally, remember, your inspired actions are magnified by the infinite power of your source. You're not alone in your efforts. Every step taken in faith is backed by unseen forces working on your behalf. Keep moving forward with confidence, knowing the universe supports you. So, final reflection on step 9. Inspired action connects your faith with tangible results. It transforms dreams into reality. It is the dance between your will and divine grace. By listening deeply, acting boldly, and trusting fully, you unlock the flow of abundance meant for you. Keep your heart open, your mind clear, and your feet moving. Your source has already provided the path. Your inspired action is the walk that brings it to life. 10. Live as if your supply is already here. This is the final, most transformative step. Live as if your divine provision has already arrived, not tomorrow, not next month, right now. The moment you adopt this attitude, you shift from scarcity to abundance, from waiting to receiving. Why living as if works? Your outer reality is a reflection of your inner beliefs. If you live in lack, your life will show lack. If you live with faith, your life will reflect faith. When you live as though your supply is already in place, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with abundance. This alignment magnetizes what you desire. 2. Act with confidence and freedom. When you believe your needs are met, you act differently. You approach opportunities without fear. You make decisions from a place of power, not panic. You give generously because you know more is coming. Your whole energy changes, and people notice. This confidence invites even more abundance. Dress and speak like a prosperous person. Your outer presentation affects your mindset and others' perceptions. Dress and speak with dignity and gratitude. Carry yourself as someone who is blessed and supported. This isn't about arrogance. It's about honoring your future self today. You create a powerful cycle where your inner belief shapes your outer world. 4. Use your resources wisely. Living as if your supply is here doesn't mean reckless spending. It means stewardship, managing your resources with wisdom and gratitude. Budget thoughtfully. Invest and grow. Avoid debt traps. Wise management keeps the flow steady and opens the door to more. Seeing these daily reinforces your mindset. They serve as constant affirmations that abundance is your way of life. 6. Speak your reality daily. Use affirmations like, I am financially free and deeply grateful. Repeat them with feeling. Speak your reality into existence every day. 7. Give thanks as though it's already done. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. Thank the source for the money you have, the money on its way, and the freedom you enjoy. This thankfulness solidifies your faith and opens the flow. 8. Handle challenges with the mindset of abundance. When difficulties arise, remind yourself, this is temporary. This is part of growth. My supply is endless, and I am never without. This mindset turns obstacles into stepping stones. Generosity multiplies abundance in your life and the lives of others. Walk confidently, knowing that your source is providing even when you can't yet see the evidence. Final reflection on Step 10. Living as if your supply is already here is a daily practice of faith, gratitude, and wisdom. It transforms your experience from waiting into receiving. It shifts your energy from lack into abundance. It invites miracles into your ordinary life. Embrace this lifestyle fully. You are not waiting for abundance. You are living in it now. Your source is limitless. Your provision is sure. Live in this truth, and watch your world change beyond imagination.